Hello, welcome everybody. I'm David Bell and I'm joined today with my co-founder, Nick Looby.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, and this is our first episode of UniEEcast. It's a podcast with the video content obviously attached, so whether you're listening on audio or you're joining us with audio and video, you get to actually share this next 20 to 30 minute episode with Nick and I. And we're going to be talking, we've got a number of things we want to talk to you today about and share with you, but the big focal point for Nick and I is about launching a business during lockdown, during this very kind of unprecedented, the word of the year, these unprecedented times. And the fact is, if you look at some of the stats and figures that the UK government are sharing, is we're seeing a larger number of startups this year in 2020 than we saw in 2019. In fact, June 2020 doubled the startups of 2019. So what's going on, Nick? Why are we seeing this, this tremendous uptake and increase in startups?
Really good question. I imagine people have got more time. So one of the things I hear a lot. Oh, I'd love to start my own business. I'd love to write a book. I'd love to do this. I'd love to learn a language, but I haven't got the time. And then suddenly we're in an environment, troublesome though it is, that we've got more time. Either we're not commuting now, or we're in a lockdown environment, and we've got more time on our hands, more time to think about what it is I really want to do. And suddenly those ideas, those little ideas in the back of your mind, thinking, well, you know what, I could do something with that. And then you've got time to start to experiment. So I think it's kind of given people that freedom of thought and that space to actually take those ideas and see what the next steps are to bring them into a reality.
But do you think this could be, in theory, a dangerous time as well, in the respect that we've got, people who have got more time? Maybe some are furloughed, maybe some are working from home. We'll talk about working from home in a little while. But do you think now, because people have got this time, they can go, do you know what? I've always wanted to set up my business. I've always had these great ideas. And they're going to embark on this journey, which is fantastic. We want more young startup businesses to get going. We want, to increase from 5.8 million to 8 million, SME type businesses, certainly the micro businesses as well. But do you think there's a danger there that everybody's going to go, I can do this, I can start my business? Or do you think it's going to hopefully balance out? We're going to see businesses go as well as arrive. But, unfortunately, we will see some close down, shut down for whatever those reasons might be. But do you think it's a dangerous opportunity, or do you think the brave will win through?
I think it's a bit of both, really. I think brilliant. If you've got an idea, you've got an ambition, you want to run your own business, you want to create something and make it your living, or even a side hustle that provides you with either an additional kind of advanced hobby or extra income. Brilliant, brilliant. And I would encourage as many people as possible to do that. It's an amazing journey to be on. However, a lot of businesses that I know of, certainly those fledgling businesses, focus on all of the pretty stuff. They focus on designing business cards or logos or get stuck in that kind of creating a beautiful idea, rather than taking all those jigsaw pieces of how to run a business and fitting those together. There comes a point fairly soon, once you get away from the pretty bits of this is what my business is going to look like, into how on earth is it going to form? How on earth am I going to make money? How on earth am I going to get funding? And this stuff becomes quite gritty. And one of the reasons we formed Uni was to provide some of the solutions and strategies to do all these bits that you need for a successful business. So a bit of both, massive optimism, but also an air of caution that let's just not run away with the idea. Let's put the idea into some form of reality.
Yeah, and you're right. It is about clarity as well, isn't it? There's people out there, have got a great idea, and they can go out there and they can do their market research. They can come up with a name for their business. They can start to take all these baby steps in starting to formulate, something that's going to be great. But lots of people we work with and we hear from and we speak to don't have maybe an understanding because they've not done it, not been there. how do they take their idea and how do they actually start to make it reality? What are the first steps that I need to consider? Going it alone, is a phrase that we often use. I'm going to go it alone. I'm going to go out there. Do I go self-employed? Do I set up as a partnership because there's more than one of us? Do I create a limited entity and have a limited company? What's the benefits? What's the pros, the cons? What do I do about sales and marketing? What is my strategy? Do I need a business plan? And how do I formulate a business plan? What needs to go into my business plan? Do I create a website? Who do I talk to? How do I do it? There's so many different things to consider, and we're not even touching on all the kind of the more high level stuff, things like taxes and VAT and no money backs and no guarantees, as Del Boy once put it. But there's these lots of these things that people need to consider. And that's what we did with Uni. We come up with this idea. We took our knowledge and skill set, and others' knowledge and skill set too, and experience and expertise, and we kind of packaged it up. And we want to make it available to predominantly students, but of course we're happy to help others too, and to the universities to help students, because we picked up on a story in the paper earlier this week. We're recording this on a Thursday, and it was at the beginning of this week we saw a story, and it was about 1 in 10 university students are already running a business. So they're already up and running, which is absolutely fantastic. But was it something like, Nick, 26% are starting to embark on that journey as well? They're considering, and lockdown has kind of enhanced that.
Yeah, there was a massive proportion in that article that are thinking of launching a business. So there's a load of people that already started, and there's a bigger number that are thinking that this could be our next step. But it does raise the question: where do you go for support? That same article had a bit of a moan that they couldn't find the right level of support at universities. Now, I'm sure there's certain universities that are absolutely on this, but one of the things we want to do is add that support. Because back in the day, when I first started my business, where did you go for advice? You probably went to the bank, and the bank are only interested in your numbers. Very important, of course, but the bank are looking after their own interests. Where do you get that impartial, been there, done it, worked my way through the troubly stuff? Where do you go for that kind of support? And it's amazing. It's brilliant to see so many bright minds, entrepreneurs, startups actually got the oomph to start a business. But it does raise the question: where's the support going to come from? Is that support the right kind of support? Where can we find it? How can we access it? And how can we take those pieces on that journey that we're embarking on?
Yeah, absolutely. And that is so important, that fire in the belly, the passion to take your idea. And in most cases, the best ideas do start with the most simple ideas. I was actually working with a group yesterday doing it through Zoom because we couldn't be on campus. And one of the things I actually spoke about was that eureka moment. I kind of alluded to Dr. Emmerick Brown. Any of those who have watched Back to the Future, and he falls off his stool when hanging a picture, hits his head on the toilet, and when he comes to, he has the vision of the flux capacitor. Most of us probably know how that story unravels and unfolds. Now, it doesn't always have to be something unique and something out there and so different, because I do believe, there's some great ideas out there, but it's not all about coming up with something that's not been done before, because that's challenging in today's world anyway. There's lots of startups, lots of businesses, and lots of things are being done. For me, it's about finding something and about how you can add your twist to it, how you can make it better, and how you can, take something and actually add more value to what it is your offering is. So when you're up against competition, the value, hopefully, your offering is maybe better than the competition's offering. It's not all about making it the cheapest. Stack it high, sell it low is not always the best win-win situation. So again, Uni is about trying to share some of these stories and some of the reasons how we can kind of use our knowledge, as you said earlier, Nick, our experience that we've gained, the access that we have to other like-minded business owners who are also, great accountants we know, and great solicitors and legal professions, the printers, the designers, the tech gurus, and kind of bring all those great people together and make it available to help others. And potential business mentoring comes into play. advisory roles, just picking up that odd advice. What do I do? Tap, 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 why on an email? Sometimes that's all it needs. It just needs a response. And for me, I think one of the biggest things is having that sounding board.
Hmm.
Uh, and that can be an internal sounding. It's about bringing together the students that are on this entrepreneurial journey, creating their first business, taking their idea. It's about bringing them together to work together, to support each other, to handhold each other through the good times. And sadly, there will be some not so good times as well, but they are part of the process and part of the learning.
Yeah,
So,
avoiding as many of those tough times as possible. If you can do that, brilliant. And ideally, the advice and the strategies, the techniques will avoid some of those hurdles that are out there for all of us. And you're right, that sounding board, that where do I go to explore this idea um, in depth with an audience that kind of get it. How many times have you had an idea, right? And then you've shared that idea with the wrong audience? Like you've gone home and you're full of energy and enthusiasm about something new. You've gone home and then you've been talked out of it. Oh, that would never fly. Or you're just a pipe dream. Or you want to get yourself a proper job. And then suddenly the enthusiasm that you had for a really good idea starts to ebb away. And I think it's massively important to have the right kind of sounding board. Realistic, but also enthusiastic about your dreams coming true.
yeah. So what you're suggesting is the best sounding boards, or some of the best sounding boards, are people in a similar position. So other startup businesses who have also got that same enthusiasm, that same get up and go, that same fire in the belly. So if we bring 16 of those enthusiastic startup ideas together, what we're going to actually see is that enthusiasm is going to grow, and they're going to support each other and come on, we can do this. We can do it as a united team. Even though they might be doing different ideas, different businesses, different sectors, business has this. It's really cool actually, because business across most platforms is the same. Business is business. It has the similar rules or the same rules, regardless of whether you're running a pub or something in hospitality through to selling stationery. It doesn't really matter. The rules of business typically apply the same. So one of the things that we love to do is get those minds together. Hence the word mastermind. Bring those different minds and create one single mastermind. And we find those exploratory opportunities rewarding for those that are in the room. Holds the accountability, which is something you just mentioned, wasn't it? The accountability. You say you're going to do something, then hopefully you'll do it. It's not crack the whip, dangle the carrot, crack the whip. It's kind of, look, you've suggested you're going to do it, and for the good of everyone else here, that you're going to come back in 6 weeks' time or 2 weeks' time, and you're going to deliver that. You would have made sure you ticked that box off. That goal has been achieved.
Yeah, definitely worked for me early on in business. That accountability to someone in a position that kind of understood what I was going through, massively important. I had my ass kicked plenty of times, and quite rightly so. Get on with it, Nick. You said you're going to do this. Where is it? And you could sit around and nothing happens, or you could actually grab that momentum. And one of the best ways is surrounding yourself with people that are going through the same thing. We kind of feed off each other. I remember group coaching with a series of like-minded businesses. It's amazing, buzzing, absolutely buzzing with ideas and of energy to make things happen. And oddly enough, it's never been easier. Okay, I appreciate, we're in odd times, but getting people around, let's say, a virtual boardroom table, never been easier. The technology has found itself, right there at the right time, and we can put the same, like-minded people in a room together and guide and facilitate some really, really healthy conversations. Like some of the biggest businesses right now didn't start in massive office blocks. They started in back rooms and garages, and now we've got a virtual backroom stroke garage that we can make accessible to future businesses.
Yeah, that's a really good way of putting it, actually, Nick. You think about it. These startup businesses, they can still work from their back bedroom or their garage or their shed at the bottom of the garden, depending on what it is they're doing. But of course, they've got access to, the likes of Zoom as all we're using today, but other platforms are available where they can access and they can create these virtual environments where you can have these meetups. We're doing lots of them at the moment. And yes, you can get Zoom fatigue, as it's known, and things like that do kind of come into play. So you have to get the balance right, the human interaction, something Nick knows so much about, the human side of being human, along with the digital side. But you're right, it's probably the best time ever to, if you're going to start a business, if you can connect with the people, you can be, working together virtually. I can be having, my laptop here and, having a conversation with my business partner or someone else that's like-minded whilst kind of working on something else. So it's almost like they're at the water cooler in the room with you to a degree. But the other thing you rightly said is about, some of the best businesses, some of the big brands that we know of, they didn't start in huge office blocks. They started from home, from their garage. I'm a great lover of Apple products. Some of you might be, some of you might not be. But of course, Apple, back in its day, Steve Jobs started from the garage. And look where it, is now, one of the largest global company, and delivering some great tech and great products. But I think the story there really is we can all start somewhere. Be it we work from our garage, from our back bedroom, from our dining room table, from the shed at the bottom of the garden. We can start anywhere. And working from home is kind of been the new buzzword, WFH, working from home. It's now kind of cool, hip and trendy. People want to work from home, and I think we're going to get too much of it to a degree. Hopefully we'll be allowed back out at some point to, get that human interaction. But the tools are available, and managed correctly, it's a great opportunity to springboard you on your journey, hopefully, to success.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the reasons we see such an increase in startups, entrepreneurial kind of spirit, great ideas actually being shared. Wouldn't it be great if we were able to encourage and coach a series of startups, support the universities with their bubbling and increasing number of young entrepreneurs, and take those ideas and take them through the business startup journey to launch into a very profitable, a very realistic business. So it'd be amazing to be able to see from start all the way to finish. And I know that the course that we put together is exactly that. It takes you through that whole process. But what joy we could all share watching those ideas come to fruition.
Yeah, absolutely. And all be part of that journey together. You've got your ideas. What we want to do with the whole idea with Uni is to deliver it as online content, partially because so many of us now are working from home or based from home. Some of us I appreciate from universities, you're still probably going into campus, maybe limited time each week, or only when it's a necessity to do so. So we decided that the best thing with Uni was to launch the platform on a digital platform. Share all our webinars and seminars live, record them for those that can't join us at that particular time, so they can jump in and catch up on our catch-up TV solution, so they can watch them over and over and over again and pick out the bits that are obviously interesting, they're keen to learn, and make available kind of a community, this online digital community, to keep people collaborating and sharing, just like we said, having this virtual network that you can access at any particular time, and build relationships. We're not trying to really be a replacement to anything like LinkedIn by any means. We're actually endorsing that type of platform. What we want to do is offer a place where these startups can come together and run virtual mastermind sessions. And we're happy to obviously, put those together and arrange all of those. But it's about bringing everyone together to share, to learn, to educate, and to take them on their personal journey, but hopefully with some good representatives, some advisors, some friends alongside them as well.
So great content, right? Shared with on a platform, accessible, readily available. Lots of kind of guest input. Those people that have done it and can share some of the secrets. Sounds great. So where do I go next, David?
Okay, so we have a couple of ways. First, they can reach out directly to us. Our contact details are on the website, but what's the website? Well, it's uni.co.uk. That's UNI.co.uk. UniEE.co.uk. We'll pop that into the chat box below. Come along, have a look at the website, give us some feedback, reach out to Nick and I. We're there to help you, support you, and answer your questions. We're making available the platform to the university, so what we'd encourage you to do, go along, find your lecturer, jump onto the business skills teachers, etc., and say to them, have you seen uni? Because if not, we'd encourage you to have a look, because we want to be part of something great. We want to be sharing with other universities. Our plans are not just to join up UK universities, but to take it onto a more global platform. We're already talking in talks with China and the US as well. So we're hopefully going to see if we can roll this out onto an international playing field, which then means we start international trade. Universities connecting, linking up, and sharing their journeys as well. We're going to roll into that some other exciting meetups and some other exciting programs, some competitions. We've got so many great ideas as well, which we'd love to share with you all in this particular episode. But what we're going to do is we'll make sure we share them in the episode 2, 3, 4 and onwards. And I'm sure, like any business idea, this is going to develop, and your feedback is crucial. So if you've got any ideas for us, get in touch, let us know. Next time, Nick, I've got a feeling we're going to bring some special guests on. We're going to try and encourage a few guests to join us each episode and share with us and with our listeners and our viewers some myths, maybe how to get rid of those myths, some great advice, some tips of the trade. So that's coming next time, and we'd love you to join us. We'd love you to come back, listen in, join us, be part of our life cycle and how we all together can make this happen.
Right. That's enough from us right now. Look out for the next episode. There'll be a special guest who will be, as David says, bashing through some of those myths, sharing expertise and knowledge. But for now, thanks very much for listening. We really look forward to some healthy conversations going forward and bringing you in to the uni team and sharing knowledge, experience and the fun.
Brilliant. So bye-bye for me.
Cheerio.
See you soon.